Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, students. How are you today? Okay, I'm fine too. Are you ready for attending the learning of mathematics today? Okay. If are you ready, please one of you lead our praying before we start our learning today. Okay, thank you. Is there any students didn't come today? Okay, good. If today is all of students come, it's good. We go to the material today. All of you are knowing what is the material today? The material today is about the absolute value of the equation and inequality. Before we go to the material, I want to tell you about what is the implementation of this material. One of you can mention it in the daily life, please, Raka? Yeah, one of the example of the real life problem about the absolute value, there is we know that people that doesn't have the job is so many, so they are not same with the availability of the job itself. So there is one of the example of the equation and inequality. And now we go to the prerequisite of the absolute value of the inequality and the equation. All of you can mention it. What is the prerequisite of this material? Yes, Mila, please. Yes, that's right. There is a linear equation and inequality of the linear of one variable. And then, do you remember how to solve the problem related to the linear equation and linear inequality? Yeah, we must remember and do attention with the methods to solve this problem. To solve the material about the prerequisite of this material, there is about linear equation and linear inequality. We must do attention with the methods to solve the problems related that. We must do operation for both sides, left side, right side, and the left side, with addition, subtraction, and then division and also multiplication. But we don't change the value of the both sides. So, for example, we have 3x equal to 6. We must find the value of x here. So we must do division for both sides. For the first one, we do division for the left side. We divide 3x with 3. 3x divided by 3 and also 6 divided by 3. These activities don't and not change the value of this equation, so we must do attention with this activity. So we get x equal to 2. like that. So we must do attention that the operation doesn't change the value of to both sides. And then for the methods or the type of the equation, we have three types. Here for the first one, we have if both sides there is a variable. For example, we have 5x minus 3 equal to 2 minus 3x. Now we will solve this problem, and we must do attempts with the statement that the operation for both sides doesn't change the value. For example, first we must do addition for the right side. We will add by 3x for both sides. After that we get 8x equal to minus 3 plus 8x equal to 2, and then after that we do the addition for both sides again. Minus 3 plus 8x plus 3 equal to 2 plus 3. We add plus 3 for both sides here, and then we get 8x equal to 5. And then we do division for both sides. We divide by 8. In this case, we will find the value of x. Here also we divide by 8, and then we get x equal to 5 over 8 here. This is the first type of the equation. There is the variable in the both sides. And then for the second type, we have the bracket form in the equation. We have the bracket form in the equation. For example, we have 6 times in the bracket form 2x minus 1 equal to 3 in the bracket form x plus 2. If we meet this equation, we must do the problem in the bracket form first. So we get 12x minus 6 equal to 3x plus 6. So if we have got this equation, it is same with the previous type. So we just do the problem by do operation for both sides. In this case, please do this problem. You say from your chair, and I will write your answer here. Yeah, we have to addition or subtraction first. Yes, that's right. Yes, 12x minus 6 plus 6 equal to 3x plus 6 plus 6. We do addition. For both sides, there is plus 6. After that, what we get? We get 12. Yeah, please ready? 12x equal to 3x plus 12. After that, what should we do? Yeah, we do 12x minus 3x equal to 3x plus 12 minus 3x. After that, what we get? We do subtraction here by minus 3x. All of you understand about it? Yes, good. That's next very 12. Yes. What? 9x equal to 12. So what do we do after this? Enough, Ferry. Please be more. What should we do after this? Yeah, we do division this equation by 9. Then we get x equal to 12 over 9, or we can simplify this by divide for denominator and numerator by 3. Then we get 4 over 3. Then we get x equal to 4 over 3. Do you understand? All of you understand about this? Yeah, that's good. And the next one, we have the type if the equation came from the fraction. Then we go to the example of this. For example, we have the equation. Yes, for example, we have the equation like this. Y over 10 equal to 3 over 4. Yes. If we have the equation like this, we just do for the first one. We must solve this equation first. 9 by multiply this 9 y times 4 equal to 3 times 10. Then we get 36 y equal to 30. Then we have what we do for this? We divide by 36. This is also 36. Then you get 9 equal to 30 over 36. We simplify this by divide this with 6. Then we get 5 over 6. We get y equal to 4 over 6. Yes, this is just the review about the prerequisite of the absolute value of inequality and equation. And then we go to the main topic. We have absolute value of inequality and equation. Before we go to the next explanation about the absolute value of inequality and the equation, this is good for us to knowing what is the general formula of the absolute value. The general formula of the absolute value. General formula. If you take the spiral, general formula of absolute value is if we have fx equal to the absolute value of x, we have two possibilities. value of x is less than 0. And we have x if the x is less than 0. Like that. I'm sorry. I mean x is less than or equal to 0. So please Randy, that is general formula of the absolute value here. If we have fx, I'll give the repetition again about this before this is important for us before we go to the next step. If we have fx, the function x is the absolute value of x. The absolute value of x. And then we have two possibilities. If the possibilities value of x, this is minus x if x is less than to 0. And x if the value of x is more than or equal to 0. Please Randy, repeat this. Just read this general form of the absolute value. Yeah, that's good. Now, after all you knowing about this, and then we go to the next. There is a characteristic of the absolute value. Now we will discuss about the characteristics of the absolute value of equation and inequality first. Yeah, the first one. Yeah, can I erase this? Yes, okay. Okay, for the first one, we go to the characteristic one. The characteristic of absolute value. The first one, if we have the absolute value of x less than a, here we know that a is the element of real number, and then we get the result that x more than a minus a and x is less than a. It is same if we have x more than a, the absolute value of x is more than a, then we have the result that x I mean that x, absolute value of x is less than or equal a, and then we have the result that x more than minus a, x more than or equal minus a, or x is less than or equal a, like this. And then next, if we have the absolute value of x more than a, and then we have the result that x is less than minus a, yes, or x more than a, like this. And if the absolute value of x less than or equal to a, more than or equal to a, and then we have the result x less than or equal to minus a, more than or equal to 8. Just like that. And then for the next, if we have the absolute value of x is equal to the square root of x squared, it is equivalent with x squared equal to, absolute value of x squared equal to x squared, like that. And for the next character is, if we have fx squared less than gx squared, then it is equivalent with f squared x equal to g squared x. It's also same. I mean here is less than, and then it is same if the sign is more or greater than gx squared. So we have fx squared is more than gx squared, it is equivalent with f squared x equal to g squared x. Here is more, the absolute value of fx squared, if we have absolute value of fx squared greater than absolute value of gx squared, it is equivalent with the f squared x less than or greater than g squared x. Like that. That is the characteristic of the absolute value. Before we go to the next step, is there any question about the characteristic of the absolute value? Yeah, please, Cindy. What? Yes, you are right. If we have the sign for the absolute value of fx and gx is less than or equal, that less than or equal and more than or equal, the equivalency is same, which is at equal here, like this. Just like this. Any question again before we go to the next step? Yes. Okay, now we go to the next step. Yeah, all of you bring the Yudhishthira book, right? Yes. Take attention for the example 2.14. I'll give you about 5 minutes to understanding the example and connect this for the characteristic that we have done before, and we have the characteristic that I have explained before. If there is a question, please ask after 5 minutes. Okay? Good. Are you finished? Is there any question about example 2.15? If there's no question, please one of you come to the in front of the class and solve the way to get this example. The example which is get the result, and I ask to you or one of you to solve this in the whiteboard. Please, one of you. Yeah, please, Bayu. This is. Yeah, this answer is right. In this solution, why we do x minus 3 equals 1 and x minus 3 equal to minus 1? Why? Anyone can answer it? Yeah, you are right, Susie. We must x minus 3 equal to 1 and then x minus 3 equal to minus 1. This is from the definition of the absolute value. Then if we have the absolute value of x, we have 2, that is mean x or x. So we must minus 1 and 1. Like that. And then we do addition for both sides. Don't forget to add the equivalent sign here. And then we get the value of x is 4 and the value of x is 2. Then we write in the solution set that the solution set is x such that x equal to 4 or x equal to 2. Don't forget to add x is element of real number. Let's try. From this example, is there any question? Okay, if there's no question, we go to the inequality of the absolute value. This example is example of the equation of the absolute value using the definition. And now we go to the inequality of the absolute value. Can I remove this? Okay. And then for the inequality of the absolute value, we take a note or we do attention to the characteristic of the absolute value of the inequality. The first example, we go to the example 2.16 for point A, which is discussed together for limiting time. There are written the absolute value of 3x plus 1 equal to 1. The absolute value of 3x plus 1 equal to 1. Now, we take a note this type to the characteristic number. Yes, number 1. So, we have the form to solve this problem to be 3x plus 1. We write in the middle more than minus 1 and less than 1. Like this. From this, before we go to the next step, is there an equation? It is enough clear? Yes. Okay. Next, after that, we do the operation for all sides of this equation. We remove plus 1 here, so we might do subtraction for all. Like this. And then we have 3x equal to 2. And then I'm sorry. I mean here we do division first for all sides. Here we divide by 3, divide by 3, divide by 3. This is not change the value for all sides. Then we get x, and so this is the result of this example, or the result of this problem. So if we write in the solution set, we get solution set x such that x more than minus 2 over 3 or x less than 0 for x is the element of the number. How is it? Any question about this? I think it is enough clear. If there's no question, we go to the next example. If the sign here is more than, so for example, we just change the sign, or if you can want to write it or not. Okay, I will remove it. For this problem, we will change this sign from less than to be greater than. Take a note to the characteristic of absolute value. If the sign is more than or greater than, we have two possibilities, that 3x plus 1 less than minus 1, or 3x plus 1 less than 1. That's right. Please take a look on your note about the characteristic. Yes, like that. After that, we solve this equation. We will remove plus 1 here, so we subtract with 1. 3x equal to minus 2, and then we do division for both, and then we get x equal to minus 2 over 3. And for this, we will remove plus 1, and then we subtract with minus 1 here, and take x more than 0, and then x more than 0. If we do division for both, and then we get the solution shape x such that x less than minus 2 over 3 or x is more than 0, where x is element of real number. It is clear, all of you, about this before we go to the exercises? Is there any question? Okay, before we go to the exercises, I'll give you one of the example about this material related to the daily life problem. For example, like this. I will remove this. Okay? Yes. Okay. For example, if we example, the difference of two number is 5. For example, we suppose that the first number is x, and then the second number is y, and then the subtraction or the difference between these two numbers is 5. So we write x minus y equal to 5. And now, since we don't know what is x, who is y, who is x, and then we can write this to be the absolute value of x minus y equal to 5. I think from this, there's no problem to solve this. The main thing is we can modeling the problem to the mathematical problem, and after that you can do or solve your problem with considering the definition and the characteristic. And for this, for example, so we have x minus y equal to 5, or x minus y equal to minus 5. Now, okay, if we take the problem like that, so we just read the solution set to be x minus y such that x minus y equal to 5, or x minus y equal to minus 5, and then xy here is the element of real number. The example of the solution or the pair of x and y is 0, 5, and then 0, minus 5, and then 1, 6, or 1, minus 4, and other. So there are so many possibilities for this problem. There is one of example of the implementation of absolute value. That's all. I think our time has been limited, and then now for the next meeting, we will discuss about the linear equation system. I hope all of you prepare for the next meeting, and for your homework about the material today, please all of you do the exercise in the student book for the competency test. All of you just do in for page 29. For the next week we will collect it. Don't forget to do it individually. And for the next, our material is about the linear equation system. Yes, before I close the learning material today, one of you, can you give the conclusion about the learning material today? Yes, please, Diva. Yes, we discuss about absolute value, the definition and the characteristic, and we do a little review about the inequality and equation of one variable. Yeah, okay, that's good. Thank you for this work today. All of you is good. I hope all of you always to study and then do more and more exercise in order to all of you can solve the problem more in limit time. So you can do the problem by yourself in the test, and the discussion with other friends is also important. So I think that's all the material about the absolute value of for today. Before I really close this learning, so is there any learning activities? Is there any question? Please. If there's no question, I think enough. Before we close our learning today, please we pray together. Okay? Before we close our learning today, please pray together and pray begin. Finish. Thank you for your all attention. I hope this learning activity today is give benefit for all of you, and I hope all of you can implement this material in your daily life. And thank you. Good morning. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you next meeting, students. Bye bye.